Ho ho! We are continuing with case 5, where we know politician has something on Phoenix. Athena knows what it is now. I have this weird do even though she's on our bench, but I could be wrong.
Politician is a stuff.
Yes. And he changed his story. Now he says he saw the murder. Maybe he had some reason to hide what he really saw. If so, that might be our only opening. So... Yeah, I didn't press the other stuff first, because this one, I'm like, how do you know it's a heavy suitcase? And we pressed them on that. Well, I think I might have pressed them on the first two, but let's go over it again, since I know you were dozing. You were on a so-called mobile meet and greet at 11 at night. That's right, it's the perfect time because everyone is at home. You should have seen how the villagers' eyes teared up when they heard what I had to say. With tears of frustration, no doubt. You weren't riding around in your palanquin? That's right, some village idiot reported me to the police. I've been banned from using it after dark. No wonder, what with all the noise he makes. So, what exactly did you see then?
Hold it!
Sounds like you witnessed something rather shocking. Indeed, I didn't even believe it at first. I mean, a vicious killer in Khura'in? There haven't been many murders there, I take it. If I'm elected, I promise that such a terrible tragedy will never happen again. I think that's actually where we finished. A vote for me is a vote to banish murder forever from our beloved Khura'in village. Yeah, good luck with that.
This looks like he knows that even he can't pull it off.
Yeah, every time he does that, he's unsure of himself.
Hold it!
He snuck up from behind. So you're saying the doctor never even realized Mr. Arbol was there? That's right, he was utterly absorbed in a book. I see. What did you see Mr. Arbol do next? He climbed up the bookshelf ladder and dumped a bunch of books down on the body. I believe he was trying to make it look like an accident. That idiot didn't realize I could see everything from outside the window. One of those statements doesn't feel right. Your Honor, I believe the witness made an important statement just now about how the crime was clearly visible, the doctor was reading a book, Dax is an idiot.
He knows that he wasn't really reading a book,
Yeah.
right? Or is that the coffee stain on it? And the crime wasn't actually visible?
I would like to do Dax as an idiot first, because...
Okay. You just want to see what they say.
Yeah. The witness said Mr. Albrol is an idiot. That's a key piece of information. Don't you jump on the bandwagon, AJ. I'm no idiot, you hear? I fail to see how that is a key piece of information. Yeah, I guess it's not, is it? But it seems there's no need to add it to the witness's testimony. Let's get on with it, shall we? Alright.
Wasn't it funniest response I thought it was?
I know! I was hoping for some more. It was actually funnier seeing that as a choice. The doctor was reading a book. The doctor was reading a book at the time of the murder. That's vital testimony. Very well. The witness will please add that statement to his testimony.
Hold it!
You watched the murderer commit his crime and did nothing to stop it. That doesn't sound like a good way to score points with the voting public. I'm a politician, not a superhero. I'm under no obligation to risk life and limb. He sure is quick to deny his obligations when there's nothing in it for him. I'm getting tired of listening to his endless campaigning and flimsy rationalizations. About your testimony, Mr. Atishan Limperson. You said Mr. Arbol absorbed in a book. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Let's press him on this, and then we'll focus on the last statement. Are you sure? Positive, I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Yet despite your certainty, you kept quiet about it until now. No, I was waiting. I knew there would be a perfect chance to talk about it later. Information must always be disclosed in a strategic manner. That is one of the lessons of kingcraft, as taught by the Atishan clan. Is there a lesson by chance in the Antition Kingcraft guidebook on being honest? Anyway, I saw Mr. Arble commit that heinous crime. Okay, let's look at the evidence.
So, on one of the books, there's a coffee stain. So, was he more likely at a desk behind that computer, which means it wouldn't be visible? See how that's coffee on the bottom?
Yeah.
There's no coffee cup here, so is that an old stain, or did that just happen then?
Yeah, I don't know.
And does he not have shoes on? Maybe.
Like, it... He looks like he has socks on.
Okay, well, maybe he takes them off because this is like so right.
Well, no, I think this part's the America part. It Korean's Japan? So you think it's a study photo?
Because of that book. Yeah, try that.
Objection!
Just kidding. You saw my reasoning, though, right?
I saw your reasoning. Here's the thing, I feel like it's gotta be this since we added it. Unless we can add the other one, but no, because... Come on. Let's see.
Hold it!
Let me see if we can add this testimony. That's our chattering testimony. Is it? Because to my ears, it sounds like a rather obvious fact. Oh, sorry, I'm good then. Okay.
Wait a minute. Well, we don't have a date on the email, right? It was at nighttime that he's writing it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Thing is, I feel like, well, the book doesn't seem like it could be a murder weapon because it's a book, but at the same time, it's the thing that has blood on it. Like...
Oh, he couldn't read the book because he didn't have the glasses on.
That's right!
Objection!
Because he was probably at the desk
Yep.
reading the book.
The doctor was standing in front of the bookshelves, absorbed in a book, you say. I'm sorry, but it seems your testimony is completely unreliable. That's quite a bold statement. Well, let's hear you back it up. I challenge you to prove that I am anything but 100% credible. Or reliable, whatever you said. Yeah. It would be my pleasure. Lately, it seems the doctor's eyes had gone so bad he needed reading glasses. However, his reading glasses were over on his desk. So you see, there's no way he could have been reading in front of the bookshelves. Arr. I'm sorry, Mr. Titian Wimperson, but I'm going to have to ask you to explain this discrepancy to the voting public. Has he done this yet?
This one.
You what? I'll explain it, you lowly cur. I simply made a mistake, you see. The doctor was actually sitting at his desk when Mr. Arble hit him over the head, but he wouldn't be able to tell that.
He wouldn't be able to see him because the computer should be blocking him from the window.
Yes, because... Yep. Then that's what would have been facing him. Surely he would have seen him try and run. Dr. Buff was nodding off. I could tell because his eyes were closed and he wasn't moving. Sounds more like what you would do. Then how do you explain the fact that he was struck in the back of the head? Isn't that something that should be impossible from the front of the desk? Oh, I'm about that. He bowed his head when he nodded off. That's when he was clobbered. Mr. Justice, that sounds like a perfectly reasonable explanation to me. You have a problem. Oh, yeah. There is a problem, a very big problem. The witness's statement doesn't hold up under the slightest bit of scrutiny. Is that so? Then will you please show this court what evidence you have to justify it? Gladly, Your Honor. Right there.
Take that!
A diagram of the study. Mr. Titian Wimperson allegedly viewed the murder from here. And the doctor was allegedly nodding off here. Yeah, I don't know why he would, yeah. But from his vantage point, the bookcase would have blocked the witness's line of sight. Why, yes, I believe you're right. But arr!
Objection!
The fact remains my client knew that the suitcase was the murder weapon. So he definitely has first-hand knowledge of the crime scene. I'm afraid I have to agree with you there, Mr. Wright. But then we have to ask ourselves, from what vantage point did he see the murder? What are you insinuating, Mr. Justice? From what vantage point could Mr. Attition Wimperson have seen the dozing doctor? Once we determine that, I believe we'll finally see the truth behind this incident. Oh, we're gonna accuse him of murder?
He was probably in the room.
Yeah. Like, here?
Take that!
You've gotta be kidding. But that's... It is indeed, but everything only makes sense if the witness was there in the study. Inside the study? But that's the scene of the crime! I know, Mr. Attition Wimperson, the man who claims to be a witness to the murder, was most certainly in that very room. Apollo, are you suggesting... Mr. Attition Wimperson, weren't you the one who actually swung that suitcase?
Objection!
Gah! What you're proposing is ludicrous. My client is a small, thin man, whereas Mr. Arbol has the musculature to pull it off. He has a point. I gave up trying to lift that thing after one go. That's right, he's the only one who could have lifted such a heavy object. Now do you understand? The rebel Datch Arbol is the doctor's killer.
What if you're in the room and you ordered it from somebody?
Or, it wasn't as heavy when you lifted it, and you put stuff in? Like, I don't know, it could be anything. As long as the suitcase is the murder weapon, the suspicion falls entirely on Datch. You'll have to poke a hole in Mr. Wright's argument somehow, Apollo. Oh, I will, and with his own technique, no less. If Mr. Attition Wimperson couldn't swing the suitcase around, we'll just have to consider another way he could have used it as a murder weapon instead. I'm going to turn this case on its head, Mr. Wright, just like you taught me. You talk big, Mr. Justice, but do you have what it takes? Well, this should be interesting. Mr. Attition Wimperson's testimony has been filled with one inaccuracy after another. First, he stated that Dr. Buff was in front of the bookshelves. Now he claims that the doctor was sitting at his desk. So where was the victim really when he was killed? Also, where was his killer, and how was the murder weapon really used? So the important thing here is the position of the victim and killer relative to each other. Yes, Your Honor, if they were positioned in a certain way, it would be possible to use the suitcase as a weapon without lifting a finger. You can't mean... I would ask the court to recall the study's layout. It's quite distinctive, as you can see. Now, if Dr. Buff were sitting in a certain spot, and his killer was at a certain other spot, the suitcase would become a weapon anyone could use. Very well, Mr. Justice. Where was Dr. Buff's killer at the time of the crime?
Right in the coffee bar, because I guess maybe he's actually sitting at the coffee bar. Like, the bad guy's at the coffee bar. The bad guy's behind it, suitcase.
Okay, so over here? Let's see.
Or is there a second story? Is it two-story up here on the top?
It's 2 stories, but he would still have to push it out the window, wouldn't he?
No, if he's up here, does that overlook down into there?
You mean, can he look inside the library from above?
Yeah.
I think it's 2 stories, but I don't think it's that kind of 2 stories. But I could be wrong. Like, maybe he was here.
To the entrance and then
It'd be here.
Yeah, because then anybody could push it onto his head sitting at the coffee bar.
Possibly.
I don't know if he was there or if he's behind him. Because then he'd have to push him over on it. I don't know.
But if there's bars at the balcony, he can't lift it over that, can he?
I don't know. Unless you push it through the rungs.
It's a big suitcase.
Okay, then. Yeah.
But I don't even know that, because I don't know how he could have moved it without lifting a finger. Let's try what you say.
No. Yeah.
Take that!
How could the murder have been committed from there? Yes, I would love to see a demonstration. Well, I can't from here. Well, I have a demonstration for you from here on how to give a penalty. That's enough. I see no need to further prolong this trial. The Defying Dragons have failed to sufficiently show their right to the item in question. Therefore, ownership is hereby awarded to the plaintiff, Mr. Politician. That creep politician stole the Founder's Orb right out of our hands. Oh, this is like a bad ending. That's cool. The dream of revolution in the kingdom of Khura'in died that day, and we returned to our daily lives. As for my relationship with Mr. Wright, the word awkward comes to mind. Let's just say it was never really the same. Ain't that interesting? Mr. Attition Wimperson's testimony has been filled with one inaccuracy after another. First, he stated that Dr. Buff was in front of the bookshelves. Now he claims that the doctor was sitting at his desk. So where was the victim really when he was killed? Also, where was his killer, and how was the murder weapon really used? So the important thing here is the position of the victim and killer relative to each other. I say we just do yours. Let's see if...
He's going to have to hit the finger because he could pick it off the...
That's true. It's just, I couldn't really tell for sure. Let's see when we look to the left.
Yeah, there's stairs.
Yeah! Oh, I didn't even notice the stairs. Ding dong, Marco.
Watch the can't guarantee you this is correct.
Take that!
There! It's correct. Oh, that's... This should wrap things up nice and pretty for you, Mr. Wright.
Why is he getting sassy?
I would ask the court to recall the study's layout, but this time, instead of thinking in 2 dimensions, let's think in 3. Only then can we clearly see the killer's method at work. The killer didn't have to swing the suitcase. Oh, look at the way the bars are. Well, I couldn't tell that from the bars. If he used gravity to his advantage, that is. That's right, it was the plaintiff, one politician Wimperson, who used the suitcase. He pushed it from the 2nd floor. And sent it hurtling down onto Dr. Buff, who was sitting at the coffee bar. Yar! The psychology book had been at the coffee bar, no doubt. The doctor must have set it down there after he'd finished reading it or the like. But his blood got on it, which is why the killer thought to hide it in that mountain of books. That's quite an entertaining theory you have there, Mr. Justice. But there's no evidence that the murder took place at the coffee bar. I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Wright. I'd say that evidence of the murder occurring at the coffee bar exists. The evidence does exist, and I'm going to show you. You are? Well, yeah, because there's a coffee stain on it.
Take that!
This brown stain was determined to be coffee. What's more, it was still a bit damp when we saw it yesterday morning. Ah. One look at this book speaks volumes, I'm afraid, Mr. Wright. It tells us the doctor was having a cup of coffee at the coffee bar. And that's when the suitcase came hurtling down, striking him on the head. Causing both his blood and his coffee to spatter onto it. Ah! Ugh! Well, Mr. Attition Wimperson? Whoa. What motive could I possibly have possibly had to kill Dr. Buff? And there it is, that final excuse quartered killers are so fond of. Well, the doctor never returned your crystal to you, did he? Instead, he hid it in the cave ruins. Telling him that the Defying Dragons were a dangerous bunch was a huge blunder. All it did was make him hide the orb. Your lie came back to bite you in the end. Even worse, the doctor saw the news report, so he knew the relic was the Founder's Orb. Being the conscientious researcher he was, he knew he had to return it to its rightful place. And that meant keeping it out of your hands. Ugh. You were so angry that he refused to return the relic to you, that you killed him with your own hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Attition Wimperson? Ah!
He's going to beat that sometimes, right?
Maybe he is. Like, see how it kind of comes off like it's a wrapper to a chocolate bar? Apollo! Don't. Please don't accuse my client of murder. Huh? What do you mean, don't accuse him? Why would you even say that, Mr. Wright? What I meant was, he's a promising politician with a bright future ahead of him. It's in our nation's best interest to avoid burdening him with the taint of scandal. Say what? Oh, wow. Right, you'd better do something to change the current courtroom climate, or I'll be charged with murder. And you know what will happen to her if that happens. Maya? What's he talking about? Well, I can ponder that later. For now, Mr. Wright, you can't possibly believe that Mr. Arbo is the killer. Are you really going to send an innocent man to prison? I thought you were better than that. Well, Mr. Wright, answer me. Mr. Wright? What in the world's going on here? She knows. If you won't say anything, then... Mr. Tish... Yeah, I thought so. Apollo, wait. Not you too, Athena. It's just, I wasn't sure whether I should say anything, but during that last recess, when I went to check on Mr. Wright, I overheard something I shouldn't have. I trust Maya is unharmed. I can't really say, but just remember, if I'm arrested or fail to obtain the treasure, there will be consequences. Consequences of the worst kind if you can't.
She's on parade, right?
Yeah, he should be.
So, maybe that's who he's trying to give the orb back to, is Inga. So remember he said, I need to give it to my benefactor? It's his benefactor, Inga, and then Inga has Maya, and he signs death petitions like they're Pez dispenser. So it's no two things off of him.
Right.
It's like, you give us the orb back, we'll give you her back. I'm sure is what it is.
Right. Relax, all you have to do is ensure I get my hands on that relic. I must deliver it to my benefactor at all costs.
He's working for the Rand, I think.
Yeah. It's something to do with an old legend. My patron seeks the great power said to be granted to whoever solves its secret.
It's already been solved.
Yeah, twice. Maya? As in Maya Fey? Yes, the boss's legendary former assistant. Miss Fey's being held hostage. Again? How do you get charged with murder,
Multiple times.
4 times, held hostage twice? So it seems.
The genocide of Greece or Turkey or wherever she was.
Why didn't you tell me as soon as you heard this? Sorry, it's just Mr. Wright spotted me before I could slip away, and made me promise not to tell you. He said it would make things more difficult if you found out. Well, that's actually nice of Mr. Wright, not to burden us with that. As if things weren't already hard enough. Just ask for another day. That's why Mr. Wright was acting so strange.
We're gonna have to go to Karain and get her.
I had no idea. This must have been excruciating for him. Think, Justice, there's got to be something you can do. Mr. Justice, about that last statement of yours, I believe you were in the middle of accusing the plaintiff of murdering Dr. Buff. Would you care to continue? I'm sorry, Apollo. I'm really, really sorry. What's gone into you two? If I accuse that slime bag, I put Miss Faye's life in jeopardy. It seems you finally caught on. I'm far too important to be accused of murder. After all, our nation's future rests squarely on my shoulders. Either I give up, or... Once I present the crystal to my patron, my victory is assured. Then one day I'll become president and king. I'll have every politician on my command. Now retract your accusation. You can't kowtow to him, but defense would... Who's that?
Simon?
Simon?
Nope.
Oh. Apollo. Dirk? I don't know what's going on here, but a lawyer should never look the way you do right now, with defeat and resignation written all over your face.
A dragon never yields.
Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. Glares and roars and latches its jaws firmly onto its prey to the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get to the truth. Dirk, a dragon never yields. We gotta do something to, like, prolong the trial or something. What did he say? Like, if the trial continues?
He said if he is... Basically, he needs that orb, and if he's accused of murder...
Yeah. If I'm arrested or fail to obtain the treasure, so if we can get this trial to continue or something, then that would...
He was time to go get her.
Yeah. Mr. Wright's hands are tied. It's up to me to do what must be done. He saved my neck so many times. Now it's my turn to save his. Dirk, thanks for that wake-up call. Yeah, now that's the face of a lawyer you've got there, son. Where there's a will, there's a way. I'm going to find the way to save Miss Fey and see that justice is served.
We could accuse someone else of murder and ask Mark to investigate it.
Guess so. That scumbag is holding Miss Fey hostage to ensure he gets the orb for his patron. And it seems said patron believes in the orb's legend. Thing is, the founder did appear when the orb was exposed to fire, just as the legend said. The legend is true, then we've already solved the riddle, right?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, we've only solved the riddle, and yet, we still don't understand what the part about bestowing power is talking about. We need to rethink this. Yeah, I thought it was no, just because of the way it was phrased. But we definitely saw part of it. The legend says the founder will bestow great spiritual power when she returns. But if that's true, it would mean we haven't solved the whole riddle yet. But how can that be? Are we missing something? Wait, maybe. Maybe the part about the founder returning should be taken literally. But how would it be possible for a dead person to return to the world of the living? Channeling.
Maybe he needs the orb with Layla.
Yeah.
Because then they know what her face looks like, because you must have her face and know their name. And they always knew her name, but they didn't know what she looked like.
And then she can get the channeling technique as well as do the seance.
Yeah.
And finally figure all that out and to a leader and not just her. I see. Of course you'd have to know what the founder looks like first. But the orb has revealed her face to us, so what if it's a sign that we should channel her? Given the facts, in order to solve the riddle and receive the founder's power, I'd need a you have to practice channeling. But that's how we could have an excuse to get Maya, too. But I think we're going to need Rafa. That means Mr. Rotition 1%'s patron will need one, too. And once that slimy politician realizes that, he won't be able to lay a finger on Miss Fey. Everything's going to be okay, Mr. Wright, because Mr. Politician 1% can't afford to harm a hair on Miss Fey's head. Huh? Mr. Rotition 1%, it seems you've chosen the wrong person to take hostage. What do you mean? Your patron seeks to solve the orb's riddle, and thereby receive great spiritual power. However, only Maya Fey can truly give them what they really want. She can? What do you mean, only Maya Fey? Think about what the return of the founder really means. We should have considered it more literally. After all, the orb was made in the kingdom of Khura'in, the birthplace of spirit mediums. Ah, I think I see now. You need to know what the deceased looks like in order to channel them. But in Khura'inism, depicting the face of the founder is taboo. However, her true face was hidden in the orb. So maybe the orb is telling us to try channeling the founder. Exactly, through a spirit medium, the founder can quite literally return. And if the legend is true, the founder just might bestow spiritual power on someone when she dies. It's like when Pearl's imbued my Makatama with spiritual power. But human can be imbued with such power in a similar manner. It is said the founder possesses immense spiritual power. Such a great feat would not necessarily be beyond her. Wait a second, then the legend is true? Do you understand now, Mr. Rotition 1%? You are holding hostage the final key to unlocking the orb's secret. And if anything were to happen to her, the riddle would remain unsolved forever. Ah!
Unless he thinks Rachel can do it or her mother can do it.
Which I think is what's eventually going to happen. There's always Pearl Fey. I could simply ask her to help. If she wants money, I have plenty to offer.
She's not fully trained.
She's not the kind of person to be tempted by material gain, and she certainly wouldn't help you if anything were to happen to her cousin. Or maybe you'd like to go ask the Queen of Khura'in to channel the Founder for you. He could, but he'd probably get executed for requesting such a thing. It's over. Now confess. You killed Dr. Buff, didn't you? It wasn't supposed to end this way. Mr. Titian 1%, are you admitting to committing the crime? You're my lawyer, right? Do something. It's true that I'm your lawyer, and as such, it's my job to defend you. However, defending my client isn't the only duty a lawyer has. There's something else that's equally as important. And that is finding the truth. What? Mr. Titian 1%, you have sought to twist the truth in the dirtiest of ways. I was complicit in your hostage-taking, but in a way I was being held hostage too. Even so, there's still hope for me to make things right. And I owe it all to you, Apollo. Mr. Right. I can't allow a murderer to walk away scot-free. Therefore, Mr. Titian 1%, I must resign as your attorney. No, 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 no! Does this mean I'm under arrest? No! Well, I've nothing to confess. What? I said, I've nothing to confess. I don't and I won't, especially not to a plebeian like you. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Besides, there's no truth to these allegations. I mean, look at the suitcase. You won't find a single print of mine on it. Probably because you kicked it. All that means is you wiped them off, taking care to only leave Mr. Arbles. Heh heh heh. As many a great politician has said before me, no comment. In that case, try switching things up, Apollo. Look at the situation from a different angle. Is there really nothing that points to the suitcase being dropped from up above? Evidence that points to the suitcase being dropped from the second floor. The killer pushed the suitcase from the second floor hallway over the coffee bar. That would place him right around here. Maybe, just maybe. Thought of something, Apollo? I believe this piece of evidence to be connected to the dropping of the suitcase. Let's see. Oh, wait! She was unconscious on the second floor. And somebody moved her.
Take that!
That appears to be a statement, but how is that related to this case? On the night of the murder, Your Honor, Miss Army Buff physically left the room. That's when she saw the doctor burning the orb and subsequently passed out, right above the coffee bar. But with her there in her wheelchair, the killer wouldn't have been able to drop the suitcase down onto the doctor. Good point. However, according to Sarge, she woke up just as someone was trying to move her in her wheelchair. Someone was pushing my wheelchair. What? I was so scared I beat a hasty retreat, as fast as my wheels could take me. She must have been in the killer's way and had to be moved. Isn't that right, Mr. Titian 1%? And if the killer had pushed the wheelchair with his bare hands, we may yet find the conclusive evidence we need. Exactly. Fortunately for us, that evidence slipped right through the killer's fingers. If only he'd been able to hold on to it just a little tighter. But now he is neither able to discard nor alter it. Honestly, that piece of evidence wasn't even supposed to be here in this courtroom today. And yet, it looks like sometimes things do get better. But this wasn't supposed to happen. No, well, too bad, because the evidence that sped away from you that night has come back to haunt you right here at this very trial. Arr! Your Honor, the defense's final piece of evidence is on this person.
Take that!
That's... On the night of the murder, Sarge passed out, only to come to and find that someone was pushing her wheelchair. That's when she fled back into her room. She didn't physically see a single soul after that. Not until Athena drew her out through that therapy session, that is. While the killer was able to wipe the prints on the suitcase off, the same can't be said for the prints that got away. Ah, my fellow Coranians. Well, Mr. Politician Wimperson, try to explain your way out of this one. The podium is all yours. Alright, meltdown time. This is probably like halfway through the case. So one meltdown here. Politician, savior of Khura'in. I am not a crook. My political career can't end like this. I'm destined for great things. Something's wrong. This isn't real. It's a dream. No, a nightmare. Ooh. Huh? What? Wait, really? Ah. Ah. Whoa, no way! Banzai! 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 I'm arrested on murder charge and the truth of his electoral win. Wait, what? No. Please. Wait. Don't go! No, no, please. Whoa! Grandpa! Mr. Attition Wimperson, are you alright? Bailiff, get him to the first aid station on the double. Well, this was yet another unexpected turn of events. In light of everything that's been revealed, it seems the relic is indeed the Founder's Orb. And it seems Mr. Politician Wimperson can be considered the suspect in Dr. Buff's murder. Apollo, I want to thank you for everything. Thanks to you, I didn't have to keep bending to the truth. I don't know what I would have done without you. Don't mention it. Ha ha ha. Ah, you know, Apollo's come a long way since his first game. You were amazing today, Apollo! Well, I couldn't have done it without Dirk.
A dragon never yields.
A dragon never yields. Every lawyer should take that to heart. As it seems both sides have no further objections, would Dirk Sadmadhi please take the stand? This court awards the orb to the Defiant Dragons per the stated transfer agreement.
Well, obviously, she's more than this. We gotta go get Dirk.
Yeah, we're probably going to have another trial back in Khura'in. We're probably going to do another seance. Someone else is going to die. Should the Kingdom of Khura'in claim ownership, the matter may have to be deliberated in court all over again. I just hope, or shall I say pray, that I'm not the judge presiding over that one. Ha 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 ha. Indeed, a trial like that might spark an international incident. Still, there are bigger and more momentous things astir in the air. The revolution. Dirk's really serious about this. This court is adjourned. Nice work, son. We've finally broken through the last obstacle on the road to revolution. Revolution? It just doesn't seem real. Yes, well, to think you actually defeated the Fighting Phoenix. All I can say is, that's my boy! Ha 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 ha. Well, Mr. Wright did have his hands tied. Who knows if I'd have won if he'd been able to fight me head-on. I see it more like you saved Mr. Wright. Saved him? Yeah, remember what he said? He didn't have to bend the truth anymore, and it was all thanks to you. I don't know about that. Still, I guess it is kind of nice to be appreciated. Mr. Dirk? Now that the Holy Mother's face has been revealed, are you going to have a spirit medium try channeling her? I, for one, would love to see the return of the legendary founder. Yeah, just think about it. Being able to speak to someone right out of history books... Unfortunately, it's not that easy. What? Why? A face isn't enough. You need the true name of the one you're attempting to channel.
What?
Yeah, oh right, Pearl mentioned something like that. And the founder's true name is only known to the priestess who's been crowned queen. In short, the only living person who knows it is the current queen of Khura'in, Garan. Not quite.
Right, no, she had that scroll.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so without her help, we won't be seeing the founder anytime soon? Tisk, that's no fun. So, Dirk, what will you... First, I'll start by tracing the route by which the orb came into Dr. Buff's hands, since we now know it was a politician that asked the doctor to study it. Isn't he the one who stole it? No, a political nobody like him couldn't get anywhere near the orb, let alone steal it. He must have had inside help. My money is on someone connected to the royal family.
Inga. I think it's Inga.
Oh boy.
Because he would have married into that family. Because it's passed through the women.
That's right.
So, he's not really a descendant of the Fangs.
He's comically a bad guy, but she might be the real evil,
Maybe.
or she's just oblivious to his evil. I don't know. Because he's definitely evil. Alright, she said something to that effect back in the cave. Whatever it may be, we need to expose their dirty scheme to the light of day. Well, I'm sure Mr. Wright has plenty of information, courtesy of his dirty client. He might be able to shed some light on this. Are we gonna see Phoenix? Private Jet. Oh! Army buff! Aww. That was fine work you did at the trial today. You did your sergeant proud. Back at you, Sarge. It took real courage to leave your room like that. There's just something funny about a 12-year-old saying you made your sergeant proud. It's all thanks to you and Corpswoman Sykes. With my seat's defense over, I can finally sally forth. He's so adorable. But the battle's only just begun. One for me, and me alone to fight. Lose your mother and then your father. What a terrible thing to endure. Yeah, and being wheelchair-bound doesn't help. Private Justice, I've been thinking. It's about time I stood on my own 2 feet. After all, I no longer have Papa to coddle me. Huh? I'm afraid I don't follow. Take a good look, soldier. This is one small step for man, and one giant leap for me. Hold my drone for me, would you, Private Justice? Yes, sir. What is she up to? Whoa. She's standing? What's this? Sarge, you mean your legs, they're... The doctor told me I was ready to walk again months ago. But if I admitted I could walk, I knew I'd have to leave the house. So I faked it. Makes sense, but I kept pretending I couldn't walk. But I know Papa is watching over me now, and I hate to disappoint him. So from this day forth, I'm going to march forward on my own 2 feet. What a brave kid trying to move forward like this. But it must be so hard this soon after her father's death. Don't you ever stop. Don't you ever stop. You just keep on walking, comrade. Stay brave, because there will be days when you'll want to stop. But I have faith you'll find a way to muster the strength to push through them. Yeah, you can do it. Hey, Daddy's back! Mr. Wright, what's that look on his face for? Oh, Apollo. Everything okay with Miss Faye?
Good.
She's safe for now. Well then, we better go save her quick. Where is she anyway? I'm afraid I have some bad news, huh? Maya's not here in the States. She's still in Khura'in, and she's still being held hostage by the mastermind behind this whole thing. The mastermind? That's right, politician 1% was nothing more than a pawn. Maya's true abductor is in the kingdom of Khura'in. Well, what? I don't understand, Mr. Wright. What in the world's going on here?
Maybe this is where we'll get recast. Because she already knows that her dad is bad news.
Yeah, just signing off with like a cigar or something. But as shocking as that news was, it was only the beginning. The beginning of something big enough to shake Khura'in to its very core. Revolution. I was being swept up in a mighty wave that nothing could stop. Of course, at the time I had no idea what the days ahead had in store for us. We're gonna have to next time.
I have about 45 more minutes with you.
Oh, 45? Okay, well, let's keep going then. What do you mean Miss Fey is still being held hostage? And who's this mastermind? Politician Wimperson was nothing more than a puppet. His benefactor was the one pulling the strings. But I have no idea who they are. So all we know is it's the person he was trying to give the orb to. Right, he was just following orders. Whoever it is, it seems they really want to get their hands on the orb. So then Miss Fey's abduction is the work of the so-called benefactor, too. Right again. Whoever they are, they're in Khura'in, along with Maya. I wonder who they could be. Right, this Maya, the spirit medium you've been talking about. She wouldn't happen to be that bun-haired young lady you defended back in Khura'in. That's her. Why do you ask? I see. I think I know what's going on here. I've got good news for you, right? Maya is somewhere safe. That much I'm sure of. I'm afraid you've lost me. Heh. So that's who the little snot's patron is. It's all starting to make sense. That fool has no idea I'm here in the States with you all. Dirk, you mind filling us in? No caller ID. I wonder who's calling. Oh, it must be the person. Hello? Mr. Phoenix Wright, yes? Let me start by thanking you for taking such good care of my subordinate. Who is this? I believe you know me as Mr. Attition's benefactor. Ah. Sounds like they're using a voice changer or something to disguise themselves. Where's Maya? Is she safe? Well, we already know Army Buff uses one, so she could be the mastermind. I just wanted you to give me a look. Thank you. I had my ears on today's proceeding. What a shock it was to hear that the key to solving the orb's riddle is a spirit medium. I admit I did not see that coming. Wait, did they plant a listening device in here somehow? Nevertheless, don't think for a minute that it will guarantee Maya Fey's safety. She is not the only medium within my reach, you see. You'll harm a hair on Maya's head and you'll have to answer to me.
She's the only one that can channel. Because Rafa can't. And I'm not sure that the Queen can.
Yeah.
Because the Queen does seances, right?
She does, I believe. Yeah, because it was passed down. Well, I thought she did both.
Maybe the Queen does, but Rafa doesn't. And I'm starting to wonder if the Queen might actually just be a fraud. And like she didn't get it. And the kid did it.
Right, give it here a sec. Wait. Hey there, how's it going, stranger? Who is this? Why, it's your friendly neighborhood dragon. I just happened to be in the U.S. on a little trip. Minister of Justice, Inga Karkul Khura'in. Inga? What? Maya's kidnapper?
Expected him.
Is Khura'in's Minister of Justice?
And Rafa's dad.
Dirk, is that you dirty turncoat? How in the blazes is going on here? Oh, you know, just popped over to the States for a little R&R. But enough about me, Inga. That was a poor excuse for a bluff you pulled just now. We both know your threats are as empty as your head. You can't lay a hand on Maya Fey, and I do mean that literally. Ugh. What is he talking about? You can kiss your chances of getting the orb goodbye. Heh. Maya Fey ain't my only, how shall I say, insurance, you know, Dirk. What? I've got someone dear to you right in the palm of my hand, see? Now that one, well, you can imagine what kind of things I can do, right? Heh, glad you're seeing things my way. Meet me at Amara's tomb tomorrow, 3 p.m. sharp, and you better come alone, got it? If all goes well, the orb is all you'll need to get Maya Fey back.
Who's he missing then? Unless he has his son. Sadmathi.
Oh, Sadmathi.
Yeah.
Dirk, what's going on? You heard him. I have to get back to Khura'in at once. What? Why? No time to explain. But are you even going to make it? What if there are no seats left on the next flight? Plus, you're a wanted man. They're not going to let you on the plane. Let me worry about that, Mr. Justice.
Edgy?
Edgy poo! Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. What are you doing here? Taking care of the hostage situation. Oh, now that you mention it, Pearl did say that she saw you around in Khura'in Village. I had him look into a few things while I was on my way back from Khura'in, including Maya's situation, of course. I was astonished to hear she was still in Khura'in earlier, but it explained why I found no connection between her and Mr. Attition. Sorry to interrupt, but going back to the plane situation. I've taken the liberty of chartering one for us. It's ready to take off at any time. And I will do what's necessary to hide the fact that Dirk Satmati is on board. Wow. Must be nice to be chief prosecutor. Right, we have no time to lose. We must head for Khura'in at once. Right. I'm going too. After all, you're bound to need my help. No fair, I want to go too. This isn't a vacation, Trucy. Besides, I'll need you to hold down the fort. But Daddy! Guess I should also only bring what's necessary. Sorry, Trucy, but would you mind holding on to this stuff for me? Fine. But you'd better bring me back something besides just more evidence. Excellent. Now, let us make haste to Khura'in. I've had a weird feeling that maybe Dirk will die, because...
Maybe he'll die saving his other son.
Quite possibly, because he's supposed to come alone. Because I've wondered ever since the end of the last part, I'm thinking, well, maybe his character's done in the story, and he might get offed. I never imagined I'd return to the country of my youth under such circumstances, though. Temple. That was a long flight. It's already 2:30 in the afternoon. Talk about cutting it close. The Kingdom of Khura'in. This is no time to reminisce, but I gotta say, this place sure brings back memories. Hurry up, Apollo. Right behind you. Amara's tomb is located in the courtyard of Khura'in Palace. We should have just enough time to get there. Then let's sprint there. Think you can keep up, Apollo? Sure, no sweat. I'll contact the royal family and the local police and inform them of our arrival. Thanks, Edgeworth.
I'll be informing the royal family. He's part of it.
Well, I mean... Well... The running and climbing and near drowning I've done this week. It's 2:45. Only 15 minutes left. See that cylindrical building rising in the distance? That's Amara's tomb. Amara? Wasn't that the previous queen, the one who was assassinated? Yes, and I'm the one they pinned it on. It will take a few minutes to get to the tomb from here. So you have returned, Barbed Head. There she is. Ah. I've seen her before on the news. If I remember correctly, this is the Crown Princess Rafa Padma Khura'in. What are you people doing here? This is the royal residence. Commoners are not allowed entry without permission. A prosecutor from the States should have already called and requested permission for us to enter. As to why we're here, your benevolence, have you seen Minister Inga? If you seek my father, I just saw him heading toward Amara's tomb. Was he with anyone? You know, like some shady-looking underlings or something? No, he was alone. Why do you ask? Looks like she has no idea about Miss Faye's abduction. You hear that? I think we have company. Bow down before her glory. Her Eminence Queen Garan, Grand Priestess of Khura'in, approaches! Huh? Garan? Ah, it's... What, Queen Garan? Guards. Surround Amara's tomb at once. Yes, Your Eminence.
Urdihara Kara!
What's she doing? Is she going to help us? Excuse me, Your Eminence. So our barbed head lawyer returns. May we presume you are here for Maya Fey, the spirit medium who has been abducted? Yes, you may. Allow us to apologize for the criminal actions of our husband. Oh, no need to apologize for him. Honestly, Inga, abducting a guest in our country, how could you? Father abducted someone? Your Eminence, what about those soldiers over there? They are the Grand Royal Guard, soldiers who serve the crown and no other. Royal Guard? They are an elite force selected from only the most loyal and outstanding of our subjects. Why have you ordered them to surround the tomb? The police will not come if it is my husband who is committing the crime. We shall have to storm the tomb and take Minister Inga into custody ourselves. What? You mean... Garan, no, his hostage is in there. Dirk, how dare you set foot in the palace? Have you come to turn yourself in? Listen, we need to call a truce for now. Grand Royal Guard, seize this traitor of the crown. As you wish, Your Eminence. Resist and you die. Wait a second. Slow down there, Garan. I'm here to conduct a hostage exchange. But if you take me in now, my FA is as good as dead. A hostage exchange? And why would he choose to do such a thing with you? We can talk about that later. Right now, I need to get in there before it's too late. If I can't resolve this in 20 minutes, you can storm the place. Now then, if you'll excuse me. Dirk, wait. Guards, allow the insurgent Dirk Sadmahi to pass. Barbed Head, you have some explaining to do. Right. Well, while we're waiting here, Apollo, why don't you explain the situation? What? Me? Leave nothing out, Hornhead, or I'll dehorn you where you stand. Hornhead? She doesn't waste any time coming up with nicknames. And what's with the attitude? Her father's the one who abducted Miss Faye. So I guess we can start with Inga himself. Your Benevolence, you saw your father heading toward the tomb. I did. I was over on the veranda, deep in thought. When I saw him hurrying toward the tomb, I'd say it was about 10 minutes ago. Why was he rushing? Maybe he was worried he'd be late. Did you see anyone else headed for the tomb? I saw no one else after he entered. So Minister Inga and Miss Faye are the only ones in there besides Dirk. Oh, Inga's gonna die. I bet you Inga's gonna die and Dirk's gonna be charged. Who knows, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had a minion or two with him. Dirk, I sure hope he's alright. Did my ears deceive me, or did I hear talk of my father abducting someone? Oh, you heard right. He abducted Maya Faye and... Insolent fool. Pardon my rudeness. A gentle soul, such as my father, could not possibly have committed such a crime. Gentle? You think he's gentle? I'm afraid it's true, Your Benevolence. He's holed up in that tomb as we speak. Really? I find this difficult to believe. Why would he do such a thing? Why would he do such a thing? He really is. It's only been 5 minutes. Arrgh, it feels like an eternity. Patience, Apollo, patience. It's been almost 20 minutes. What's taking Dirk so long? The appointed time has come. Our Royal Guard shall now storm in. Can't you wait just a little longer? No, we cannot. Every second we wait puts the hostage's life in even more danger. Therefore, we see no alternative but to order our guards to storm in. But that'll put Miss Faye's life in danger, too. Guards, storm the tomb and seize Minister Inga along with the insurgent Dirk Sadmahi. Yes, Your Eminence! What? Dirk's under arrest, too? Naturally. That treacherous snake assassinated my predecessor, Queen Amara. Now go, seize them both. Rah, we're going in. Follow me, men. For Her Eminence, Urdi Haragoran. I hope no one gets hurt. Your Eminence! What the? Why are they running back now? What is the meaning of this? Something terrible has happened. Dirk! The minister! He's dead! What's this? Well, what? Apollo, quick! I'm right behind you. No one enters without our... Come, let us see what is... Yes, Your Eminence! Where's Dirk? Apollo, over there. Dirk? Dirk, what have you done? Apollo? Look! So it is Minister Inga who has fallen. Guards, seize this murderous man at once. Yes, Your Eminence! Surrender now or perish, rebel scum. No, wait! Arr! Sounds like he's fighting them off. Momentarily. Dirk! They're taking him away. Wait, this is the... Is he telling me to keep it safe? Nick, is that you? Maya! Are you alright? Dirk, save me. I feel exhausted. I can't keep my eyes open.
Should we pass out?
Yeah. Probably gonna pass out for 24 hours before she can give us critical information. Minister Inga, the man behind Miss Faye's abduction, has been killed, and Dirk was arrested for his murder. So it was that the abduction of Maya Fey came to a sudden and unexpected resolution. With this, the curtain fell on the minister, but things were far from over. Apollo, what happened? I can't say for sure, but from what I can tell, it seems Dirk has killed Minister Inga. What?
What if the queen had actually killed him?
See, that's what I wonder.
Planted him in there.
Killed him before, because he was rushing. She had him killed. Then she comes here, she has an alibi. You think he did it to save Miss Faye? Most likely, but who knows? I'm really confused right now. My father, This cannot be. I must see for myself.
Did she channel her own dad? Or do seance for her dad?
Oh god. Well, definitely the seance, but it'd be crazy if she could channel her dad. Oh, that would be a little wrong. Yeah. Your benevolence, we cannot allow you to pass. Fool, stand aside. Forgive us, but we have direct orders from Her Eminence Queen Garan. Oh, Father. Oh, Father. Dirk, you will pay for this. Paul, let's go regroup somewhere. Yeah. Dirk, it wasn't really you that did it, right? Are you okay, Apollo? Yeah. Edgeworth speaking with the local police. So let's sit tight until he returns. Okay. I know you must be in a state of shock right now, but I need you to stay with us, Apollo. He's right, I can't go to pieces now. Thanks, Mr. Wright, I'll be fine. Who was the other person, though, who Inga had at the palm of his hand? Because we still don't know if it was necessarily Sadmati.
Well, he had Samadhi. He had the other monk that got killed. Remember that secret monk that wasn't 21 years old, he was 41 years old?
Right.
Okay. He's got quite a few people working for him.
True. Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I have some bad news. It looks like things will only get more complicated from here. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what's happened with Dirk? As I understand it, he has been officially charged with the murder of Minister Inga. He has? However, I did manage to get his permission to investigate the crime scene, and I expect we'll be allowed to visit Mr. Sadmati shortly. Thank you. I'm sure glad Prosecutor Edgeworth is here with us.
His own father would prosecute him. Both sons take off each other.
You mean his own son prosecutes?
Like, the white-haired Sadmati prosecutes while Apollo and...
Defense, they finally meet up in court.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the...
Defending their own dad.
Well, not the other one. The other one will be prosecuting his own dad.
Well, one's defending, one's prosecuting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but against their own father.
Family triangle. Detective Sky's gonna be here. Sky! It seems Prosecutor Sadmati has grown quite fond of her. He's been ferrying her around all over the place, a few days here, a few days there. They've almost become a team of sorts. Despite what Nayuda says, it seems he thinks highly of Emma's skills.
Maybe he wants to be married?
Yeah, he's got a big crush. He's like, oh, Emma Pooh! So what now, Apollo? I think I'll go pay Dirk a visit at the detention center. I want to go check in on Maya at the hospital. What about you, Athena? Well, if there's footwork to be done, I'd better stick with Apollo and give him a hand. Very well, then I will accompany Wright. Okay, we'll go our separate ways for now. Alright, if anything comes up, you have my cell number. Do you know your way around here, Apollo? It's been over 10 years since I left, but I'll try not to get hopelessly lost. I want to do Amara's tomb first. Apollo, I know you can't help but want to start investigating, but I know we should go pay Dirk a visit. Okay, never mind.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. Apollo, here to see your old man, are you? Dirk, are they done interrogating you? Nope, the fun hasn't even started. I imagine they'll really rake me over the coals, though. I don't even want to think about how harsh their interrogation method will be. Yeah, but that's nothing compared to what they'll do if they find him guilty. They've branded me a terrorist who killed the previous queen and now the justice minister. If found guilty of these crimes, I'll be facing a very public execution. Public execution? This is worse than I thought. Come on, son, turn that frown upside down. You'll jinx us. As soon as I get out of here, take you to this tasty hash house I know. I'd like that. I really need to focus on what happened. Time to switch to work mode. Dirk, can you tell me what happened? Oh, and there's also something I want you to take a look at. Is it the Founder's Orb? I see you got it safely out of the tomb. Why did you throw it at me like that? I want you to listen carefully, son. The orb must not fall into Garan's hands. Not ever. I thought Minister Inga was the one who was after it. He was the one who lent it to Professor Buff to study, after all. So haven't you exposed his crime now? I have, but there's more connected to this relic than meets the eye. Much more. And whatever it is, I can't help feeling that it could turn this entire kingdom upside down. You said something like that before. Looks like Dirk's intuition is at it again. Gran will do anything to retrieve this, so guard it well, son, at least until tomorrow's trial. Dirk, what happened in there? You didn't really kill Minister Inga, did you? Well, the thing is, I really don't know. Huh? I remember seeing the mural of the founder right as I entered the tomb, but I got all dizzy immediately after that. I'm sure you did.
Everybody does.
Everybody gets dizzy and passes out.
Hasn't.
Yeah, they're sure to do that as Maya is to get convicted or held hostage. No, charged or held hostage. Next thing I knew, I was standing there with a bloody knife in my hand, covered in Inga's blood. So you don't remember meeting with him? No, the last thing I remember after entering the tomb is feeling dizzy. There's no way he can explain what happened if he can't remember anything. Yeah. Is that you? I suppose there's no getting out of this one. But we can't give up yet. Ha ha ha, I was just messing with you, son. Well, stop! It's not funny! Sorry. Jeez, nothing seems to faze him, not even being arrested for murder. This is going to be one tough case, Apollo. Not only have I been charged with Inga's murder, but I've also been charged with Amara's assassination from 23 years ago. You're on trial for 2 charges? Gran is practically licking her chops just thinking about my public execution. Guess it means we can't afford to lose our heads, huh? Ha 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 ha! I don't know how you can laugh at a time like this. So, son, I take it you'll be defending me at the trial? Of course, you can count on me. That's my boy. Looks like your nerves are as steely as those vocal cords of yours. After all, you've got the Defense Culpability Act to contend with, too. Oh, right, so if you're found guilty, then I'll be charged with the same double homicide, huh? Don't tell me you forgot about that. I'll be fine. I just have to make sure we win this one. You sure? Because you don't sound very fine. Apollo, what was that about an assassination 23 years ago? About that incident 23 years ago. That was when the previous Queen Amara was assassinated, wasn't it? Yes, someone set her private residence on fire. She lost her life in the ensuing blaze. And you were arrested for the crime.
This sounds very similar to what happened to Artibok, actually.
Yeah, it is. Huh. Why would they arrest you, Mr. Sadmati? Weren't you just a lawyer back then? What relation could you have had with the Queen? About that, Amara was, well, she was my wife. I may not look the part, but I was once husband to a queen. In short, I was royalty. What? No way! Are you saying you won the heart of the reigning queen? Ha 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 ha. Come on, you're talking to a guy who honed his prowess against witnesses on the stand. Even a queen is no match for this dragon's glare. Wow, you're really something else. So was a verdict ever reached, Dirk?
Is this why his son maybe serves Karain because he feels that his own father murdered his mother?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Because then how can you possibly stand by him? I acted as my own attorney and won until I was accused of fabricating evidence, that is. Then it all went south. Now, where have I heard a story like that before?
Every case in his family.
Well, I think he's talking about Phoenix.
Oh.
Because Phoenix lost his license due to that. Oh, man, does that mean Christoph Gavin's pulling the strings in Karain? Darn you, Gavin. I made a run for it. You ran, but why? I didn't kill Amara, and I didn't fabricate any evidence. But if I had stuck around for a retrial, I'd have been found guilty for sure.
But is Amara Graham's mother? Or a sister? They had to be from the same lineage.
I don't know. Does it say?
I mean, that means he would be related to them by marriage.
Wow, Apollo. You're kind of sort of mother-in-law. Or whatever she would be in this.
Anyway, here we go. The family tree, I'm not really sure how it forks here, but...
Yeah. I couldn't allow that to happen. Amara's true killer would never face justice if I did. So I left my law practice behind and went underground. But that was 23 years ago. Are you telling me that after all these years, you still haven't discovered the truth? Yeah, the fact that it was an arson means that the crime scene was reduced to ashes. There is little in the way of evidence left. It's just been brick wall after brick wall. I guess that means it's all up to me to figure it out, huh? Along with Minister Inga's murder, of course. I think I'm going to be sick. Come on, son, don't look so down. With you on the case, it'll work out somehow. I hope he's right. Say, son, do you remember my office? Sure. I remember that messy, dimly lit room. The file I've amassed on Amara's assassination is kept there. I think it might help you on this case. Do you remember how to get there? Let me think.
Is it in the sewer? It's that manhole.
Yeah, I recall going in through a manhole. How can I not, Dirk? I hated how I always got so dirty getting there, and that stench. That old case is important too, but I should probably focus on the minister's murder first. I'm afraid your time is up.
Hi, Dad.
Now,
Hi, brother.
Nayuta. It's time for the prisoner's interrogation.
Does he look like his mom?
Possibly, so be gone, you putrid-headed criminal abetting lawyer. Wait, don't tell me, you're the prosecuting attorney? What? But that would mean... Is there a problem here? You bet there is, he's your father. And your point is? My relation to the accused is irrelevant. The fact remains, I am a prosecutor. No, that's not what I don't think I'm getting through to him. Nayuta, long time no see, son. How have you been? Look, I hear you've been serving Duran. Rather faithfully, in fact. Whatever happened to our dream of taking her down and changing this country, son? The past is the past. What do you mean? Why are you doing this? It's simple. People change. The Nayuta you knew exists no more. Listen, son, I don't know what made you change like this, but you're still my boy, even if you prosecute my case. The rest of the Defiant Dragons and I eagerly await your return. Whenever you're ready, we'll welcome you back with open arms. As I said, I've moved on. Now, let us waste no time, for flowers do not blossom simply from talk of the past.
So is he an adopted son too, or is Amara his mom?
What do I get a feeling there's something he wants to say but can't? I don't know. Guard, move the accused to the interrogation room. Yes, sir. This way, you rebel scum. Ow, watch it. Not so rough, will you? Nayuta, is he seriously going to prosecute his own father? So this is the tomb of Amara, the previous queen of Khura'in. It's really lavish. I guess you could say it's fit for a queen. Is the faceless woman in that mural over there Amara? No, that's the Holy Mother. She's the one who brought spirit channeling to Khura'in. Oh right, the woman in the orb. Oh, it's you two, getting right down to business, I see. Is it our favorite Sky?
Yeah.
Hi, Emma. We heard you'd give us a hand if we needed this. Yet Mr. Edred asked me to help where I could. So, it's been quite a while since you've been back in Khura'in, I hear. Yeah, more than 10 years, in fact. Well, you sure didn't waste any time. I mean, you're already mixed up in a murder. You're as big a trouble magnet as Mr. Right. Please don't say that. My luck's already bad enough as it is. And I hear Prosecutor Sadmati has requested your services again. He seems to have really taken a liking to you.
Yeah, we're dating.
You mean his ephemeral holiness? I don't mind that he approves of me and my abilities. It's just his people skills need some serious work. And when he manages to smile and compliments my work, it's hard to say no. Plus, working on investigations overseas is the other, but flying back and forth between here and home every few days with no days off, that's been tough, and the lack of sleep has been brutal on my skin. To make matters worse, the defendant in this case is someone I know. I mean, how could this get any worse? Munch, 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 munch. Sounds like they've got one complicated prosecutor-detective relationship going on. Emma, have you determined the cause of death? Blood lost from a stab wound. A single stab in the back was enough to cause the victim to bleed to death. The estimated time of death is 3 p.m., which is when Dirk came onto the scene. Any suspects besides Dirk? No, he, Maya, and the minister were the only ones here. And Maya had been tied up until she was freed by the Queen's Royal Guard. Someone had been hiding somewhere in here. Not likely. I was told this tomb was searched from top to bottom right after the murder. And during that time, the Royal Guard set up a perimeter to prevent anyone from escaping. In other words, the crime scene was completely sealed off. It would appear so. No way for a third party to escape without being spotted, so great. Another one of those convoluted locked room mysteries. About the victim, Minister Inga. He was the kingdom's Minister of Justice, correct? Yes, Inga Karkul Khura'in was the second most powerful figure in Khura'in. Plus, he was married to the Queen. Seems strange that someone of his status would abduct someone of his most loyal subordinates about his plan. That way, there was little chance of the police or even the Queen finding out. What was Inga hoping to gain by getting his hands on the orb? That I don't know, but I'm working on it. I wonder if it really was for what politician one person said.
Maybe it is the way. You know what I mean? And like he's a pawn.
Yeah.
And she's the one who wanted that orb because she feels that she would get all that power by channeling it.
And she probably killed Garana. I mean, probably killed Amara, I bet.
So that she would be the next.
She would be queen. And maybe that's why when you said, oh, she might be a fake, doesn't have the power.
Yeah, because I want to know what her relation to Amara is. Is Amara a sister, a cousin, a mother? She seems to be the same age as Dirk, right?
Yeah.
We're assuming she's 40s, middle-aged woman. But I wonder if Amara is her sister.
She's 43. Mister's 46.
Oh, anyway, we got some suspicions though.
Yes.
We got the suspicions.
I must deliver it to my benefactor at all costs. What did they want that relic for, anyway? It's something to do with an old legend. My patron seeks the great power said to be granted to whoever solves its secret. A great power that is said to be bestowed on whoever solves the orb's secret. In Khura'in, only those who can channel spirits are said to be fit to rule. Was that why Inga wanted such power? Did he want to be king? So is this the tomb of the previous queen? Yes, Queen Amara was laid to rest here. She lost her life in an arsonist blaze. What a tragic end. I heard this tomb sits on the actual site of her residence before it was burned down. They built it on the same spot so her soul could rest in peace. But this is where the fire happened, huh? Why do you think Minister Inga was holding Miss Fey captive here? It's the perfect spot if you think about it. It's close to his private quarters, which made it easy to keep an eye on his prisoner. And the courtyard is only open to the royal family, so he had little fear of prying eyes. Plus, the tomb is normally locked, and only the royal family is allowed access. So that's why he picked this place. How long had Miss Fey been held captive? About 6 days. Really? That long? It appears she was severely weakened by her prolonged confinement. She passed out as soon as she was freed and is now in an IV drip at the hospital. She's been asleep ever since. Poor Miss Fey. I hope she gets better soon. Emma, do you mind if we start looking around? Sure, I've already got the okay. Knock yourselves out. Oh, and here. It's a diagram the police drew of the tomb. I thought I'd give you a copy to help your investigation along. Thank you. Tomb diagram entered the court record. Oh, and let me know if you need my forensic expertise. Don't you dare keep all the fun to yourselves, you hear? You don't need to worry about that. Besides, I'd hardly classify this as fun. But if you already had, like... She's fun.
I noticed that one of the guys over here was different than the rest in the diagram.
Oh, we shall check that out then. So this is Amara's sarcophagus. Let's take a closer look. Hey, those curtains open, Apollo. Oh, ho, ho. That's one big sarcophagus. They say the mummy of Amara, the former queen, rests inside. The mummy, huh? Rats, it's locked. Hey, don't touch that. You mean we can't search inside it? Not a chance. Besides, it's not something anyone tried to open anyway. Try opening anyway. What if the real killer is hiding inside? Hey, anyone in there? Don't do that! You're going to get us cursed! Yeah, Mara's probably in there. Cursed? The queen likely bears a grudge toward the living after such a violent, painful death. So no one dares touch the sarcophagus for fear of incurring her wrath. Oh no, Apollo, what am I going to do? Don't look at me. In any case, the sarcophagus is temperature controlled. It's kept really cold to preserve the mummy. So even if someone did decide to hide inside it, they would eventually freeze to death. I see. Still, if they bundled up, I bet a person could hide in there for a little while. Look, one of the statues is broken. Yeah, but it's kind of hard to see from here. Let's check it out when we get a little closer. It looks like the Holy Mother was painted here to watch over Amara's sarcophagus. So it's like this tomb was protected by the Founder? That must be so reassuring to those she left behind. Only one problem. They didn't paint the eyes she needs to do said watching. Come to think of it, she doesn't have a mouth to smile down on the tome with either. It's actually kind of creepy. I wonder if being watched by something like that gives the Queen nightmares. Hey, keep that up and the Founder just might come and watch over you too. There's a painting up here, but I can't see it very well.
It's like sacrifice.
Whoa. Wow, it's covered in blood. With a blood spatter this large, it must have gotten all over the killer, too. Come to think of it. There was blood on Dirk's clothes. The circumstantial evidence points to Dirk being the killer. That's what I'd conclude if I were a cop, too. Why are things always so bleak for me? One of the statues is broken. Let's take a closer look. This thing's more splintered than statue now. The bullet from the victim's gun did a real number on it.
What? You fired a shot? How have I never told us that?
Yeah, it seems like something you get cursed for, you know? In Mr. Inga's case, I'd say getting your ticket punched is curse enough. Yeah, but don't curses extend to the afterlife? You need to stop taking what Nayuta says so seriously. I'm perfectly capable of thinking for myself. I wondered, because there's a... Yeah, there's this, and there's something glowing here. Let's do this, and then we'll go up to the bullet. You know, there's something shiny down there. It's a pendant. There's blood on it. I wonder who it belongs to. All we know is it's not the victims. No one in the royal family recognized it.
Please.
Did you lift any fingerprints from it? I did, but I wasn't able to get a clean one. That's too bad. But the blood turned out to be the victims. That means it must have fallen here in the course of the murder. It might be Dirk's. I should ask him about it later. Look, there's a bullet here. It's from the pistol the victim was carrying. My guess is he tried to shoot his attacker, but missed, and the bullet ended up here. We've already determined the rifling marks to be a match to his gun. Rifling marks? Aren't those... Oh ho! Shall I explain? The science behind it is absolutely fascinating. No, we're good.
You never heard a gunshot while you were standing outside.
Never ever.
So the gunshot happened before we came.
Yep. I think they're so smart. You do realize we can hear you.
Nothing else about that.
It's a Macatama, I think. Did it come from the broken statue? Look, Apollo, there's another one.
Yeah.
The other statues only have one each. Hey, you're right. Maybe this statue is special or something. Yeah, that is kind of weird. Guess this is where Inga collapsed when he died. Better take a closer look. So this is the murder weapon. Emma, did you find any prints on it? Yep, and they were super clear. They belonged to one Dirk Sunmahi. That's not good. Were there any others? There was one more print from another individual, but it was too smudged to identify. It's probably an old print from someone else who had handled the knife. Oh, yet another piece of unhelpful info to add to our ever-growing pile. Less sigh. His phone? I wonder if this is Inga's cell phone. It should be. His fingerprints are all over it. Do you know if he talked with anyone recently? There were a few calls logged between him and his underlings. They're all members of the secret police who were directly under the minister's control.
That means like that. That monk.
You mean like spies? I don't think that's quite it. So the minister was armed, huh? That's a 4-shot pistol. He had it for self-defense, apparently. But it won't be firing anything anytime soon. Huh? He was carrying a broken gun around for show? Now, we recovered a bullet here, which means the gun probably broke as the minister fired its last round. Thing is, the gun's chambers are all empty. Yet that one bullet is the only bullet we could find. That is strange. Where did the other 3 go? Maybe Dirk ate them. We can ask the next time we see him. Just be ready for his predictably shocking answer. Maybe Dirk ate them. They've already taken the body away. It's kind of sad how familiar I've become with body outlines.
Can you check those pictures from the science museum?
Yeah. I have a photo of the body if you're interested. I am interested. He was stabbed right in the back. The poor guy was practically skewered. What's he wearing on his arms? Those are the cuffs of justice. Seems to be a tradition here for the Minister of Justice to wear those 4-arm cuffs. They look like they're made of a thick fabric, so I guess they aren't for protection.
The stab in the back. How'd the blood get onto this sarcophagus on this side? Are you sure that blood's his and not somebody else's?
True. Yeah, that's probably the original purpose, but over the years, the reason for wearing them was probably forgotten. So now they're just one of many traditional things that people do without knowing why. Oh, I get it. Kind of like the way you roll up your sleeves, huh? Or your psychology, if we're going there. I happen to know why I started, thank you very much. So I think that's everything for here. Turn to the side.
Isn't that Dirk up there?
Is this supposed to be Amara channeling a spirit? It looks like the spirit of some country's sultan or something. And she seems to be conveying something to his retainers. She's on fire! This must be Amara's assassination as allegedly carried out by Dirk.
Dirk in the back of horn.
Oh my god. And he has a pitchfork with... They really made him look evil. This is the weirdest one of all. Is that supposed to be Dirk facing his punishment in the afterlife? Anyway, I guess that's the last one. I guess we're supposed to see this as a happy ending. Yeah, except nobody came out of the story happy. The sarcophagus is surrounded by a curtain. I bet someone could have hidden behind it. True, but that's one of the many places the Royal Guard checked after storming in. Wow, they were really thorough. Yes, well, apparently one of their members loves mystery novels. He peered into every nook and cranny with an almost frightening amount of gusto. When he was done, he said, "Very interesting. It looks like one of those locked room mysteries." Sounds like he's in the wrong line of work. That is so cute. Because somebody's just like Apollo. It's like a small army of monks.
Maybe somebody was hiding in there, and while he was back up against it, they stabbed him. Yeah.
He fell backwards.
What's on that table over there? Is that wine and food?
Ooh, yeah. Looks like they're facing sarcophagus and prayer. If you look carefully, each one has a slightly different expression. I wonder if they used real people as models. Some are frowning, some are smiling. There's one that looks like he's trying his hardest not to burst out laughing. Really? I wonder why. Maybe it's like those times when things are so intense you can't help but laugh. You know, like at funerals and stuff. What? They went through all the trouble of depicting that? Talk about going overboard. This is the grape juice Inca was drinking. He was probably nervous before his meeting with Dirk. So he drank grape juice. I'm not seeing the logic here. Mr. Wright told me all about it when he was hospitalized a few years ago. He said grape juice has something in it that helps you relax. Yeah, remember at the Borscht Club in the first Apollo game? Yeah, they all had grape juice at that bar, poker, and all that. Really? Are you sure he was talking about regular plain old grape juice? Because it sounds like he was talking about the fermented variety. No, he couldn't have meant that. I mean, we're talking about a medical facility. They wouldn't have allowed something like that in. Right. Let's just leave it at that. Miss Fey was apparently tied to this chair. Let's take a closer look. We should try to cover every angle possible here. Okay, so I think I see blood here.
Behind it, yeah.
Poor Miss Fey. She'd been tied up to this chair. I can just imagine how much her backside must have hurt sitting here so long. It would have been torture for you, I bet. I mean, you don't know how to sit still. If by that you mean I like to stay active, then I have to agree with you. Let's do the rope first, and then we'll look around it. The blood. I bet you didn't know, but I happen to be a bit of an escape artist myself. Chushi showed me how to do her rope escape trick. And why would you bother learning something like that? Because we're always getting into trouble when working cases with Mr. Wright. So I thought it might come in handy someday. Well, I guess you're right about that, and Miss Fey could have definitely used that knowledge. That's right, so now you just sit right here and we'll get started. Who in the world gave you the idea I wanted to learn? Look, there's a bloodstain on one of the chair legs. Really? Hey, you're right, I completely missed that. Let's move the chair so we can check under it. There's more blood under the chair leg. I wonder what it's doing there. I have some luminol here. Why don't you do some testing around it?
Let's see if there's more.
Yeah. Look! A trail?
So they were inside that curtain,
Yeah.
hiding.
The bloodstain leads all the way to the sarcophagus. Emma, is this Minister Inga's blood? Hold on one second. Oh, that's strange. I didn't get a match. So then, whose blood is it? Dirk and Miss Fey weren't wounded as far as we know. The blood's been wiped off by someone for some reason. Yeah, that's strange too.
I think it's the food.
Yeah, I think so too. Whoops. This? Someone could have hid behind these curtains. Here, I'll go give it a try. What, can you tell I'm hiding here? No, I can't tell at all. That's it, that's the perfect hiding space. We did it, Apollo. We solved the case. Sorry to burst your bubble, but the royal guards searched the tomb high and low right after they stormed in. And they said no one else was in here besides Minister Inga, Dirk, and Miss Fey. Well, back to the drawing board, I guess. My brilliant deduction, destroyed in 3 sentences. Ah, the other mural. A baby on a lotus blossom? That's one strange painting. Apparently that's part of a mural depicting the life and times of Queen Amara. You know, like a storyboard or something. So that baby's supposed to be Amara. This one depicts Amara preaching to the faithful. It's hard to put into words, but I've never seen anything like it. Let's see, the next one is... Does he have horns? My best guess is it depicts the first time Amara and Dirk met.
And she looks like prosecutor son.
Oh yeah. So that's probably his mom. But can't be Apollo's mom. Unless they have totally retcon it, but that'd be weird.
Unless they have different names.
That's what I mean. Like it's gotta be like yeah.
What's her name?
Lemire? The mural continues on the opposite wall. Yeah, we looked at it.
Are we missing something?
No. It's full of ash. They must burn incense in here. So I was wondering, Apollo, did the ash come from the incense sticks that were burned in this? Or did people put their incense in after there was already ash in here to hold them up? Don't be silly. The answer is simple. The ash is the product of prayers from the countless visitors who come here. It's not a chicken or the egg kind of thing. Oh, that's an interesting take on it. It's so much more poetic than mine. Let's look at the other one. It's full of ash. My guess would be this is an incense burner. Hey, look, Apollo, there's something in the ashes. Let's see what it is. Is that a gemstone? Wonder what it's doing here. Hey, I've got this one covered, Apollo. Would you like to hear my brilliant theory? Well, I guess it wouldn't do any harm. You know how people make wishes by throwing coins into a fountain, right? Well, you know, hold on. On second thought, I'm good. What? You sure you don't need to hear my theory? I was just about to get to the good part. Let's just ask Emma. That'll be much quicker. Excuse me, Emma, what's this gemstone doing here? Oh, that. It's not a gem, it's a button, albeit a very expensive one, from the victim's jacket. Oh yeah! Must have fallen off and gotten in there somehow. See? Every puzzle has an answer, Athena. Well, I thought my idea was pretty good. Wait, what's with this suit? See here on the gemstone. Hey, you're right. Now we're good. I think we've covered just about everything. Maybe we should go over what we've learned so far. For starters, we're dealing with a locked room murder. But instead of the tomb being locked, it was being cordoned off by the royal guard. And after the murder, no one was found to be hiding inside. Right, in addition, we also know that Dirk's fingerprints are all over the murder weapon. The curtain around the sarcophagus was drenched in the victim's blood on one side. The blood must have also gotten on the killer when they stabbed the minister from behind. Dirk got blood on him when the crime was first discovered. Unfortunately, he doesn't remember what happened. This is not good. So what we know so far is things couldn't be worse for our case, and that's still an understatement somehow. Yeah, it's looking pretty grim. Oh, if you two are done here, I'll have to ask you to leave. Go on, scoot. Something wrong, Emma? Why are you trying to give us the boot? It's just easier if you're not here when His Ephemeral Holiness arrives. Ah! Speak of the devil. Prosecutor Sanmati. Detective Sky, it seems you've spoken at length with these two lawyers. I do hope you've also kept an eye on them. Yes, of course. Like a hawk. They didn't touch a single thing. Ha! Ha ha ha! Give a lawyer an inch and they'll take a mile. Never forget that. There's that look of distrust again. Hey, Nayuta, do you really believe that Dirk's guilty? And are you seriously going to prosecute this case? I mean, he's your father. You were once part of the Defiant Dragons, weren't you? Hey, Nayuta, wait! I said wait! Come on, Athena, after him. Huh? Oh, right behind you. Nayuta, would you stop already? What do you want? It's about Dirk. Would you please hear me out? I fail to see why I should. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Hold it!
Nayuta, are you afraid of what I might have to say? If not, then there's no harm in listening, right? Very well. Speak. But make it quick. There's much I must do. Why does everything have to be so difficult with you? Here's what I want to know. Why is that tiptoe? Yeah. This overturned urn has spilled water everywhere. Everything around it is soaking wet. Don't look at me. Rightly or wrongly, I'm guessing Athena's the type who gets blamed for a lot of things. And the more people accuse her, the more defensive she becomes. Even to the point of preemptively denying any wrongdoing. I said it wasn't me. I never said it was. Always on the defensive. Grabbing exam the overturned urn. Are these Inga's footprints? They appear to be heading toward the tomb. Didn't Princess Rafa mention something about that? You know, something about him rushing over to the tomb before we arrived? I wonder if he had accidentally dozed off before the exchange or something. Looks like dirt, definitely, but... Okay, let's talk. So, I know you'll be prosecuting Dirk's case, but aren't there any other prosecutors in this country? Why does it have to be you? Her Eminence Queen Duran personally requested that I serve as a prosecutor. She did? That would make it hard to say no. Her Eminence thinks highly of my prosecutorial skills. Still, she didn't have to ask you to handle a case against your own father. Be honest, you really don't want to do this, do you? You speak of love and sentiment. I guess so. I do not deny such human emotions. But the law is the law, and placing personal feelings above it is beyond reprieve. Do you disagree? Well, no, I don't disagree, but civilizations only exist due to the confines of the law. Without them, love and sentiment would lack the fertile soil they need to flourish. Do you disagree? No, but the law must be obeyed. This truth sits above all else, including personal feelings. Therefore, whether or not I am the son of the accused is of no consequence. It is that simple. Or would you say otherwise? But, come on, Apollo, tell him how wrong he is. But don't you, wish it wasn't that way? It appears I've wasted my breath on you. And the winner is Prosecutor Sanmati. Still spewing empty words devoid of meaning or consequence, I see. You putrid red pepper. Arr. I know I'm right, but did he have to be so eloquent about his point? It's like he's trying to cover something up with his pretty words. Apollo, I'd cut back on the debates with him if I were you. Just stick to questions like the one you wanted to ask. Now, Yuta, I wanted to ask you about that hostage situation. Inga said he had someone dear to Dirk in the palm of his hand, and he was using that person along with his hostage as leverage in obtaining the orb. That's news to me.
It's you, that night.
Well, that's what Inga said. I got the impression Dirk had no choice but to follow Inga's demands after he heard that. So who do you suppose this special person is? I wouldn't know. There we go. My bracelet's reacting. Hey Nayuta, about what you just said. Ouch, my bracelet is crushing my wrist. Ouch, that really hurts. What the heck's going on? I'm wise to your tricks, you putrid pepper. That bracelet reacts to the anxieties of the people around you by squeezing your wrist. But now that I know how it works, I can make it tighten around your wrist anytime I wish. Consider this a warning.
Magical? Magical too?
Well, you know how he throws his beads at you and then tightens them? I don't know how he did it, but this renders my bracelet useless. Such devilry is powerless in the face of the Holy Mother's blessings.
Did you just practice witchcraft?
The Holy Mother's blessings. Looks like your special power won't work against Prosecutor Sadanmatia, Apollo. We'll have to try something else. You're right. We'll just have to ask Dirk about this. It appears you intend to go through with a trial you have no hope of winning. Grow up, Mr. Justice. We are no longer children, you and I. I'm not the one who needs to grow up, Nayuta. In case you didn't hear, I won my last case against none other than Mr. Right. You tell him, Apollo. I like how she's this cheerleader. Oh my god, it's adorable. Is he mad? I can never tell with him. This trial is different. Your foolishness will only earn you a death sentence for aiding and abetting a criminal. And those who die as criminals are doomed to be reborn in the next life as something lower than a bug or vegetable. You would be lucky to return to this realm as a patch of mold. Wow. Mold? That's pretty harsh. If you wish to avert such a fate, abandon this folly before it is too late. I don't care if I end up as a dollop of blue cheese dressing in my next life. I'm going to offend Dirk in court. You fool. Know this. I intend to prosecute the accused with all my might, no matter what you say or do. Consider yourself forewarned. Now, if you will excuse me. Prosecutor Sadanmatia knows his father will be publicly executed if he's found guilty, yet he won't show even an ounce of mercy. Nayuta, is this the real you? Have you really changed? Do you really plan on sending Dirk to his death? Do you even hear me? Don't Dirk and I matter to you anymore?
This is a good stopping point.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I didn't even think this was going to be a stopping point. I was considering asking you if this was a good... Yeah. So, I think we have an idea of who the big bad is. We just need to figure out the details. But there could be some swerves that we don't know about that it tries to mess with us in. Kind of like the third case of the third game. You think Dahlia is the one who did everything, and she did the most evil things, but Godo was the guy who attacked her with a sword. So I think could be that, or it could be what we think. Who knows? Alright. Or it could be, heck, if it's anything like the last game, I did not see Fulbright coming at all.
No, I didn't.
Remember when I gasped when I figured it out? And it was one of the few things that I figured out before you, the way they described that, and I'm like, oh my god. So, alright.